was our home for last night.
No sleep in at least 2 days.
No, views are good though.
Good evening. Today I want to talk about one of the most important pieces of clothing for any outdoor objective. No matter if it's a big climbing expedition or a 100-mile ultramarathon, I have used baselayer hoodies in both of those and many other scenarios. And I can't stress enough how important it is to pick the appropriate one for the job. Today, we will talk about tops in particular. And I'm currently wearing a shirt made out of my favorite base layer material. It is by Patagonia and they call it Caprilin Cool Lightweight. The only thing that's cool about me. But I'm not here to make bad jokes, even though I will. I'm here to talk specifically about 3 different categories of base layers that I would highly recommend. And yes, it's only just 3. And one of them is completely useless, but emotionally critical. And more on that later. Let me start this video with a practical tip that's gonna improve your life in a significant way. When you're doing long approaches, or long enough that you will sweat a lot, if you can leave extra stuff at the base, bring a fresh base layer to change into. I used to not do that for many years, but now I always do, especially if I'm going ice climbing. Most of the time you start cold, warm up, and end up sweating quite a bit, because it feels good to be warm when it's -10 out. But once you get to the base of the route and start climbing, you're gonna get way colder than you should because you're climbing in a wet base layer. So I bring a fresh layer, wipe myself down with the wet one, and put the new layer on. Then I layer up real quick. Remember, when you stop moving, you're no longer producing heat. So even though it feels nice to cool off, by the time your friend epics on the first pitch, you will be freezing. And one of the best ways to prevent that is to put all your dry layers on real fast. I do that every time I can afford the extra weight or when I can leave the wet layer at the base of the climb. Try it out for yourself if you don't already do this. Category number 1, Alpha Direct 90 hoodies. This is my favorite category. Also the most frustrating one, because the brand that made my favorite kind, Northwest Alpine, if I remember correctly, literally went out of business. I finally find something I love and it disappears. Classic. So I can't even drop an affiliate link for you. How am I even gonna monetize this channel? But for real though, full disclosure, I'm not supported or affiliated with any of these brands, and I'm not providing any affiliate links. If you end up enjoying my videos so much you can buy me a coffee, I will leave my Venmo account in the video description, but I will love you all the same. Or you can buy me a Caprilin Cool base layer if you feel like being a sugar mommy. The reason why I like Alpha Direct 90 so much is that it provides the most warmth for its weight, and it's super comfortable to wear. It breathes well, it dries fast, and it regulates temperature better than almost anything that I've used. It works especially well for winter climbing and days when I'm able to change my layer at the base. I typically approach in a thin sun hoodie with a shell on top, sweat like a pig, and change into this thing. Pair it with an insulated vest. I think this is the Patagonia Nano Puff or whatever they call it. And then I throw a shell on, as well as a down jacket while racking up or waiting for my partner to climb the pitch. And that makes me really warm and comfortable. So Alpha Direct isn't warm in the traditional sense. It's efficient and it's very comfortable. And that's what actually matters. Otherwise, as a winter base layer, you can pair a synthetic shirt and a Patagonia R1 hoodie if you're looking for something warmer. But everything has a downside. Nothing is perfect, aside from rainbow unicorns and a pink tricam. Like this replacement I got from Levy Outdoor was supposed to be red. Does this look red to you? I look like a pink chicken. Thank God it's a base layer and no one will ever see it, except like anyone viewing this video right now. It looks like I'm wearing a 13-year-old girl's Instagram filter. I mean, come on. And also, this material snags on things much easier. I wouldn't recommend it for something like Western Sierra bushwhacking. It is also not made to be worn on warm sunny days, unless you are using it in a pinch on a glacier. Which is a perfect transition to category number 2, lightweight sun hoodies. This is the type of a base layer I have the most of. The point of it is to hide your skin from the sun, dry fast after it gets wet, be comfortable, but mostly help you manage your temperature. It is really hard for an athlete to stay cool or warm enough because what we do can be in both sides of the extremes. But this video is not about that. However, I want to say that I don't usually buy mixed merino base layers because I didn't find them to be less smelly on my body. If I spent 5 days on a climb, I stink like death and I never noticed a significant difference. However, when it comes to drying, synthetic and specifically the capillin cool base layer is what I prefer. However, I should mention merino wool because mixed merino layers are comfortable and preferred by many people. Not at all what I would wear in a 100-miler or on a long expedition, but that's just me. So synthetic sun hoodies, I use them for summer approaches, sunny glaciers, winter trail running, long sweaty approaches of any kind, going to work, walking around my home, sleeping. I just wear them most of the time. A perfect sun hoodie for my preference is stupid light. It protects you from sun exposure, keeps you a bit cooler, and doesn't feel gross after a full day of sweating because it dries fast. Aside from capillin, Patagonia made this thing a few years back, and it's awesome. It's very lightweight, sort of stylish, and I love the two-way zipper. I tried to research the model's name and it looks like it was discontinued or I'm just too dumb to figure out how to find it on their complicated website. One issue that I see with sun hoodies is that a lot of companies make them a bit too thick for my preference, and it sort of defeats the purpose because it becomes more insulating and doesn't dry as fast. Different people may have different preferences, however. I can see thicker base layers being great for winter running in negative temperatures or for wearing under your shells for a cold day of skiing. There is a time and place, but I'd rather just add a layer if I needed it. That's why we have mid layers, right? Basically, I want this thing so thin that it wouldn't survive a serious relationship. Anyways, if you're moving in direct sun for hours, or just moving, this is one of the highest value pieces in your entire system. Very versatile, you can layer it, sleep in it, but mostly use it as your don't get sunburned like an idiot insurance policy. Unlike Alpha Direct, it actually looks somewhat normal, unless you had it for so long that you had to cut the sleeves off, which is a nice bonus for those of you who want to interact with society like normal humans would. Alright, and now category number 3, and this is where things get serious. The aesthetic hoodie. This one has exactly one job: to look good in the pictures. That's it. No performance requirements, no technical advantages, just vibes. Bright color, good contrast, something that pops against snow, rock, or whatever dramatic landscape you're trying to pretend you're suffering in. Because let's be honest, you can climb the hardest route of your life, but if your outfit blends into the background, did it even happen? You're basically just climbing for yourself, which nobody does since the 90s. This is the hoodie you wear when you know there's a camera out. And look, I'm not even joking here. Having a piece that stands out visually, it's actually kind of nice for documenting trips. So yes, it is completely useless and also kind of essential. And to summarize, you don't need 10 base layers, though I probably have much more than that. You don't need a complicated system. You need one Alpha Direct hoodie for colder days, couple ultralight sun hoodies for pretty much everything else, and one good looking hoodie for your vanity. That's it. That's the system. Everything else is just you trying to justify buying more gear, which, to be fair, I fully support. But if you actually want something that works, keep it simple. Pick pieces that solve specific problems, and then go climb something hard enough that you stop thinking about silly shit like which hoodie you picked. Because at the end of the day, if you're thinking about your layering system too much, you're probably not suffering enough. And that's really what we're all there for. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this was somewhat helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Enjoy your evening.